What's up, Magi? My name's Imani, aka The Intuitive Alchemist, and today I want to talk about tapping into your intuition. So, for those of you that don't know, what the heck is intuition? Intuition is really just a feeling that you get. Intuition is that pulling, that guide, that inspiration, that moment of knowing that causes you to take action or causes you to reflect more deeply. And there are lots of ways that people can tap into their intuition. I encourage you to practice and see which ways, practice all of the ways and see which ways work for you best, or which ones come more easily and which ones don't come at all, or come at certain times. That's always a great experiment. But let's talk about those types of intuition and how you can use those to inspire both your tarot and your writing practice. All right, so we're going to talk about the types of intuition first, and then we'll talk about how you can use that to read a tarot spread or how you can use that to activate your writing practice. Because I'm a writer, and so I often talk about writing practices or reflection, journaling. I remember it. All right, so tapping into your intuition. I call this the clairs, i.e., the clairvoyant, the clair add an ending because they all have a different meaning. So let's talk about the clairs. The clairs are clairaudience, which is really about hearing beyond, like actually hearing voices, sounds, syllables, things like that. Claircognizance, which is all about clear knowing. It's like you're building a sweetness jar, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to put some cracked pepper in here to accelerate this sweetness for me, or clairolfaction, which is smelling beyond. Sometimes people say that they can smell their grandfather in the room. Oftentimes, I can smell one of my grandparents at any given time just because I happen to be thinking about them, or I walk through a park that reminds me of them, past flowers that remind me of my grandmother. There's also clairsentience, which is a clear feeling. That's like literally a feeling in the body. Sometimes people say that they feel goosebumps on the back of their neck. I know a witch who legit burps. So like it can be any like bodily function that helps you like pull information out down from the spirit and out of your body into the world. And then of course there's clairvoyance, which most people are most familiar with because it's all about seeing beyond. People that say that they see spirits and see parallel universes, like that is clairvoyance. Okay, literally seeing things, seeing guides, seeing angels. Oftentimes, people will have a combination of these, or a specific situation will activate a clair and another won't. It just sort of depends on what you practice most, depends on what your guides and ancestors are more easily able to access you and to give you information through. But I guarantee as you practice, you can probably pick up any one of these skills. I don't know. I haven't practiced like all of them consistently enough to know if you can actually pick them all up. But maybe I bet you can. All right, let's talk about how you can use this in your writing practice. Very first and foremost, before I begin any practice, whether that's meditation, whether that's writing, whether that's reading tarot, I'm taking some deep breaths. As a quintuple Aquarius, I'm often in the clouds, okay? On another plane, spending my time with my guides, my angels, the homies, like my ancestors. I don't spend a lot of time on the ground. And so taking deep breaths really helps me ground, get into my body, and get ready to listen so that I can still my mind enough to like hear and receive information. That's also why I'm a tarot reader because yo, if I didn't have like some sort of tool to help me like interpret the information would literally just come. They talk to me all the time. um, it would definitely just come and visions would always come. So it helps me to like get centered, get focused, set an intention, inviting my guides, inviting my ancestors into the building so that I can read, interpret, and hear what I need to hear. It also helps me like settle in and get ready to like get a practice in. And then I oftentimes will have a question. Now, that question can be, what do I need to know for my highest and best good? That question can be, should I make a career change? That question could be, when will love come into my life? That question can be, is this person not really giving me the good vibes? what should I do about it? Depends on the type of spread that you're pulling, depends on what you want to write about, what you're journaling about, what your intention is before your session. And then once you're sort of settled and grounded, then it's time to tap into whatever your clair is. Whichever one pops up for you first, that is where you should start journaling. Whether that's you heard something and start writing that down, what you heard, and then start processing that mentally, or if you have a smell and that brings back a memory or a vision for you, you'll definitely want to notate that and write that down. I often use my intuition in my writing practice or my poetry, and so oftentimes I will set aside very clear time where I can download, write, sit uninterrupted so that whatever comes through can just come through and then I can leave it there until my next practice. And as I spent more and more time setting aside dedicated writing time or time to sit with my muses, my ancestors, my guides, they started to show up, right? And I can more clearly hear, I can more clearly see. So again, developing your intuition is all about practice. It is practice, 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 practice. Now, how do you use this in a tarot spread? As a tarot reader, I often have to set like a very clear altar space. I like to light some incense. I like to light a candle, set up some water. Normally, I have some sort of like flowers or dry leaves or a feather just to represent the four elements and make sure like I've got my container set. And then I'm going to go on with my question around, so what am I asking for? A lot of times I'm just asking for daily guidance or asking for clarity around something. And so I'll pull a spread, and that can be anything from one card to 12, just depends on the mood and how long I have to sit sort of in my container. And then I start to hear, or they start to show me things, or I get a feeling about what I should do that day. Like going to the beach because I need to be by the ocean today. And that could just be because they need me to clear out some energy. And that could be because I'm going to meet someone that they need me to meet that day. Using your intuition to sort of interpret the cards. What are you feeling? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? And then how does that relate to what you've pulled? Your tarot is automatically going to give you information. It's a medium. So it's designed, it's a tool to give you information. And so using that tool through your clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairvoyance will start to clarify the information that they're giving you. And again, it is all about practice. The more you practice, the more familiar you are with the deck and how to interpret those cards and the information that your guides or your ancestors are giving you, the easier it will become to use your intuition in either your writing practice, meditation practice, or in your tarot practice. Hopefully, this was helpful. And if you're down to join me for a workshop, check out a seasonal workshop that I've got. You can find me on www.thedeckofnone.com. I am at book 33 on all platforms. I look forward to seeing you in class.